track, they had about 20,000. That's a lot right there. That is the largest amount that we've had here in this country for a sporting event since COVID. And it's not even close. With that said, I'm not necessarily sure this is going to open up the door for team sports, especially where some cities have said don't expect anything. Some cities have come out and said not only don't expect anything, but we're not going to allow you in it. Philadelphia irresponsibly came out earlier in the week and said nothing until the end of February. We don't know. We have no idea. It could be nothing until next February, 2 Februarys from now, or it could be nothing until August, the end of August. Human behavior, interaction, mitigation has all led to us at least weathering it the first time. The problem is that everybody came out and people weren't listening, and it was just typical America. But before that, when everybody was basically at home, and I know it was not fun, but when everybody was universally across the board at home, more often than not, we saw true mitigation. I can't tell you what nobody is going to tell you when fans are in or not. Not the Patriots who are saying, well, 25% capacity. Not the Eagles who are looking around at the city after they put that mandate down thinking, are we even going to have a body in there? NASCAR, the largest sporting event since the pandemic. And if you look at some pictures, I was pretty surprised at how they were able to socially distance. Now, the assumption is that there are groups, right? Like there's a group of 2 or there's a group of 9, and that 9 is a family because that 9 is distance from other people. We'll see what the numbers say, but this is at least a start.
At CDW, we get that migrating your business to a hyper-converged infrastructure is challenging.
Like me switching to decaf. Gotta do it, don't want to do it, but gotta do it.
Whoa, slow down, friend. CDW's experts can help you simplify the transition from legacy to hyper-converged infrastructure with Dell Technologies solutions that offer speed and agility.
Do it, do it. Have you done it? Is it done yet? Why isn't it done yet?
IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/Dell Tech.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage. Making the right financial decisions has never been more important. When you turn to Rocket Mortgage, we can help guide you to those right decisions now, when they matter most. Mortgage rates are near historic lows, so now is a great time to call 8338-ROCKET. And if you need some extra money, a cash-out refinance could give you that financial boost you're looking for. Call today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com to learn more.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. And MLS number 3030.
Auto Accident Help Desk is a marketing agency connecting callers with attorneys. Providers pay a fee for advertising services.
I love getting my kids ready and driving them to school.
But a careless driver can change your life in an instant, and insurance companies want to settle on the cheap. Auto Accident Help Desk connects victims with powerful lawyers. They fight for you.
So I called Auto Accident Help Desk and got help for my pain and suffering.
Don't let an insurance company take advantage of you. Our attorneys fight and beat big insurance every day.
Woodland's not playing terrible, man.
Call 800-528-6859. 800-528-6859.
If you've been injured in an automobile accident in the last 6 months, you owe it to yourself to make this free call with no obligation. We're available 24/7
Maybe I
to help you get the money you deserve for your pain and suffering. Auto Accident Help Desk helps accident victims like you every day.
Call 800-528-6859. 800-528-6859. That's 800-528-6859.
Oh,
my name is Megan Edens, founder and CEO of Excel Lifestyle. Research shows that wearing a face mask drastically reduces the spread of the coronavirus. Excel Lifestyle's Prima antibacterial face masks are soft, washable, and double layer for added protection. To purchase you and your loved one's face mask, please go to excellifestyle.com. That's ACCEL lifestyle.com. Once we receive your order, we will ship your masks out immediately. Thank you and stay safe.
For muscle pain, body aches to strains. Blue Emu Maximum Arthritis. It works fast and you won't stink. Its unique formula with emu oil penetrates deep to relieve arthritis pain, sore muscles, joints, and more. Blue Emu Maximum Arthritis. It works fast and you won't stink. Find Blue Emu at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, and other chains, or visit blue-emu.com.
Dealing with the root of the issues. It's The Second Level, presented by Rocket Mortgage. From the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eitan Shander.
It's almost like we get a little break with this Washington story and see how bad and heinous and ugly that culture is down there for years. And you see the allegations. 15 women have come out. 2 reporters have come out as well. And as soon as we're right as we are processing what is going on with this story, the Post drops it last night, 5:30 or so Eastern time. Just as we're getting our hands around this, wrapping our brains around this story, we get Major League Baseball coming out with COVID-19 test results over the past week. 10,548 samples tested, 6 positives, 5 of those players. And then you see at the end, the past week, this is from Bill Shaken. The past week included a 5-day period in which no new positives were reported. So Major League Baseball right now at least is trying to come out with numbers from the past week that show that they've been moving in the right direction, that they're testing more vigilantly, and I guess they're getting these tests back in a timely manner. That was a problem earlier on. And I don't necessarily know, based off of how negligent they were, I don't know if they were processing all the tests this time at all. It seems as if now they're being more aggressive, but that they were not processing initially all the tests. And then you also have players who I guarantee you are not being retested, are not being tested for antibodies after the first time. Bob Nightingale, MLB and the MLBPA announced that 6 of the 10,548 samples taken last week, that's 0.05%, have been new positives for COVID-19. There were 5 days in which no positives, were reported. Very encouraging news. We don't know, and Major League Baseball has given me no indication that I can trust or give them any benefit of the doubt here. But we don't know how vigilant the testing has been and where we are right now, just stabbing it right in the middle of a desert, just staking claim. All right, now we're becoming more vigilant and testing the right way. There were enough problems initially with the tests in baseball that teams had to shut down spring training. That's it. We can't do this anymore. We can't trust the system of testing anymore. And yes, while the numbers are there that the 10,548 samples last week were taken, there are a couple of things happening here. New positives for COVID-19 are down to a very, very, very low percentage, which is great. But you can't just take one test and move on, and that's it. We know about the lack of true results that we're getting across the board, where some tests are getting 65 to 70% return on accuracy, others 90, 95, but even still, there's margin of error to where you're getting a false positive or a false negative. We also know at this point, at least, because everything is about mask or not, but you're not being told enough about the data and what's coming out. That's why we do this story and this weekly show I do on my column, phillyvoice.com, about where we are from a medical standpoint. But we know from people on the front lines dealing with this data that there is no definitive time that you can have antibodies in your system. It can be in there for a week. It can be in there for 6 weeks. It can be in there a little longer, but we've seen already instances across the world in which people who have tested positive once have recovered. They've been fine. They come back. They test positive again. And they've tested for antibodies in between. So they've tested positive for COVID. All right, sit back, quarantine. That's fine. We played that Charlie Blackmon cut earlier this week. And the only reason why we played it is because he was led to believe by somebody that because you get it and you test positive for antibodies, you're now invincible. He even used that term. I can't trust the direction that Major League Baseball is going with one tweet from Nightingale or Shaken or anybody else that comes out with this data. It's a good sign. It's a good start. And as Nightingale tweeted, very encouraging news from now. If today or this past week, was the baseline, then great. We've started something new. We've moved forward and got a little feel of it. But we don't know when this vigilant testing began, and we don't know if they're retesting players who tested negative. We also don't know how much they're testing players for antibodies who have tested positive and then tested negative. It's a little more complicated than just showing up with a mask on, right? This thing is still at a point right now where the doctors who are dealing with this, the medical professionals, the nurses who are dealing with this, the scientists who are dealing with the data will tell you, as far as antibodies are concerned, they know even less. It's one thing to look at COVID and say, we're still learning how deep and how dangerous this thing can be, even to asymptomatic people at times. But there is something even more complex and infuriating to those same medical pros, which is not really understanding the depths of the antibodies, as well as the tests being largely inaccurate. I don't know what more Major League Baseball can do, to be fair, than continuing to test, continuing to move forward. Heyman says 93 total positives, 80 players out of 21,701 tests taken. Now, we know that this is more of the last week. What happened? That would be my main question. What happened early on? Was it just failure to accurately test? Was it using the wrong service? What is it where you have to go get drug tested? Quest? Is that the place where you show up and have to get drug tested? You know, you have to go in the back for whatever job, whatever it is that you have, right? You show up and it's one of these labs. I don't know if it's Quest. I don't want to damn any lab. I don't know what the Nationals were using, or the Phillies for that matter, that they couldn't even get a center fielder's test back before, or really a week or so into spring training. The biggest problem that Major League Baseball has to deal with is the delay in results. So right now, we're still in early mode. We're not in full regular season mode. It's only 60 games. I get that, but it's still early. So it's like wait and see, right? Which is fine, because that's the mechanism, that's the mode of operation right now. Is you have to kind of wait and see where these test results are being delayed, and that's preventing somebody from participating. So if you have somebody that's scheduled to pitch game 12 or game 30 or game 55 in the regular season, and they're waiting for these test results to come back, they ain't going to pitch. Baseball cannot allow a player to get into that. That's a major issue that baseball, I don't know how they get around. And look, I don't know, unless you're just going to declare that your quarterback or your wide receiver or your D-end or your safety is out for 2 weeks, and you just remove that body from the team, that's fine. It's going to kill, especially if it's a good or big name player on your team, somebody your team relies on. It's going to kill you, but that's really all you can do. Remove somebody from your team for 2 weeks and hope that when they come back, continue to pass tests. There isn't a lot of contact. There isn't a lot of things going on here that you'd have to worry about outside of just getting on the field. Once you're in, then you're on the field, you're able to play. But they're going to have to deal with that issue. That is a gigantic issue. Delaying of tests, delaying of results, the fact that in some cases you may not get it back in time. And we're just dealing with spring training right now. That's all. At Shander Show, twitch.tv/Shander Show. Now, Ron is back. So is that right to assume that we can return with fake news?
Of course.
Okay. We did a little, you look forward to this, right?
Me?
Yeah, because you know that after fake news,
that's more work for me. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but I'm thinking once you hit fake news on the show, you know that it's pretty much a lock. Like you can sleepwalk through the final half hour. You don't have to do anything.
Well, I just put my feet up.
There you go. Actually, how about this? You take your feet down when it's time for fake news. Is that right?
Pretty much, yeah. Actually, I start heading to my car.
Exactly right. Exactly. It's fine. I can't hate you for that.
Yeah,
had a long day.
There's no reason for you to hate me.
Was it tough coming back to this schedule after taking a week off? Every time I did mornings, it was always hard. Even if I took 5 days off, it was hard.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I mean, I was a little slower. I think the biggest problem I had, it wasn't the fact that, I wasn't awake. I was disorganized. Like I didn't know what my routine was. I forgot what my routine was.
Yes.
And there was one point I'm just standing in the kitchen. I'm looking around like, all right, what do I do next? Oh, I make coffee right now. That's what I do.
Right.
And, and I felt like I was just walking around in circles a couple of times. Like, I have a pattern that I have down that I know exactly where I am and what time it is without looking at a clock.
Yes.
Because I have this pattern down and that was a little off.
Okay.
Still made it to, plenty of time, but I thought I was going to have a hard time waking up and I only had a snooze once. So that's a pat on the back for me.
That's not bad at all. That's actually pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I thought that, it might just be, especially, you show up and so much is asked of you, but now Tony's out. So the show changes when Tony's out. Asman's out. You don't need to pull 50 cuts.
Nope.
The only thing you really had to do today was just pull 3 stories.
Maybe.
All right. We'll do that. I'm also jonesing for a little Tony, Jake, or Eitan. And I'll tell you, coming up, we actually adapted as best we could. Sean did a great job filling in. He did this one thing on this segment where he found 3 real stories. And the idea was that I've never tried to make it so I've never heard of them, right? Like pull stories as random as they could be. And there was Belmer was in once and Sean was in. So we were grilling them on the differences of the host because they were working with all 3 hosts. But it's not the same. It's not Tony, Jake, or Eitan. It's not fake news. We'll try to jam them in as much as we can next here on the second level.
Introducing AutomotiveMap.com.
So, question for you.
A brand new
Is there a way
what's happening in
in
the
which
world
we
of
can,
automobiles?
like, is there a way that you cannot feed me the breaks during the break?
Keeping your family safe on
So
the
we can
road,
still be connected.
AutomotiveMap.com has something for you.
And you and I
If
can
you
still
love cars,
talk.
trucks, and SUVs.
But
and the
you can't
amazing
feed,
technology
like you just
hitting
take,
your
I don't know if
favorite
you can take it out of the
showroom,
mix
check out-
minus.
No.
There's
Man,
no
I'm
way.
sure there's a way, but I have no idea.
The second level.
Well, aren't I in? Is
It's
my
either
pot
Tony,
not
Jake, or
connected
me.
to? My pot should be
Who
connected to
gives
the
the
mix
best
minus,
life
right?
advice? Yeah, I have. I have no way to record, and I won't be able to.
No, not record.
The kid as I do.
Exactly.
No, not record. I'm
Yes,
sorry. I'm just
So
saying
he has,
in the break.
he has
if we could
responsibilities
just
in his life that you don't have.
kill the
Jake, I just
commercials
put
in the
together
break,
his bike
not to
yesterday.
record anything.
Yes. Kill the commercial.
Perfect. Does that-
I could how to make eggs over quarantine.
So
And that's
for
not
Twitch,
that's not a recipe. That's
Twitch
not
is
eggs over
moving the
quarantine.
show,
I'm literally saying during the quarantine he made
to the
eggs
front
for the first
page.
time ever. Are you hearing spots right now?
Apparently the bacon went even worse.
I still think he's cooking like one bacon out of. I'll have to get with AD on this.
That's
I'm
fine.
Not sure.
That's fine. We have
Pound
until
of
Wednesday
bacon,
where they're
you might
doing
as well
something
cook it.
Yeah, it's
new,
a pound of bacon.
and they're going to put this show here.
bacon.
The second level. Weekdays from 11 a.m.
They just don't want to hear our programming.
Yeah.
Well, screw them, man.
NFL Insider. You can hear him on the Tony Bruno show. When are you on with Tony?
Usually Tuesdays and Fridays.
Well, I was on his show on Friday. Does that mean that they were slumming?
Big names.
You and I will never make the promo. Put it like that.
I got bumped for Charles.
Getting bumped for Charles Barkley is not anything at all to sneeze at. I was bumped for a bear story in South Jersey.
The Second Level, weekdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. Into the night.
My old partner in mullets and in great suits, the great Barry Amaro. Now, let me ask you about the hair, though, because you're not allowed to get haircuts. It's starting to open up now. So did the hair get really, really, really long? Because everybody, is complaining about I can't go to the barber. Is the mullet back?
I never got a haircut for the whole time, the whole Pandemaniac. So it was getting pretty long. I don't know if I've had it longer, but it was pretty long.
I got to ask you, what product do you recommend? Because you got this nice, quaff and slick back. What do you use?
Just a very high-quality gel. And I'm giving you all these secrets before the season starts. Once the season starts, I got no time for that. I got to be
No, I know. Listen, this is what we need. It's like training camp. We all want to look good when the puck drops, wherever the hell the puck is going to drop.
I got my work cut out for me. There's no doubt about that.
Into the Night with Tony Bruno and Harry Mays. Weeknights at 10 Eastern.
So, can I ask you a question?
Fake news with Ron. With all the fake news out there,
Don't believe those lies.
it's on Shander to give it to you straight. 3 stories, but only one is fake.
It's true. I know it's a weird thought, but it's true.
Can Shander spot the fraud? Here's Ron Culver.
All right, so I don't know if this is starting to become a tradition for me when I take some time off. But crazy things always seem to happen. So I have a couple for you, Eitan.
Like crazy in sports or just the world?
Crazy on my family vacation.
Right.
No, I'm just saying the family vacation. I have 3 stories for you that may or may not have happened during my time off.
I like it.
During my time off, and I just want you to tell me which one is not real.
Now, you actually went somewhere on your vacation. Tony D, we know, is on his way, if not already.
Yeah.
He had a very legit vacation that he took. Where the hell is Asmund going on vacation?
He's probably going back to New York, going back home.
Come on.
I think I want to.
Is he flying home? He's got a quarantine for 2 weeks.
No.
How long is this guy out?
Well, he can't be flying back home. Yeah, because if he's come from Texas, he's got a quarantine. Because New York, unless he's flying into one state and then driving to another, I don't know how he's doing it.
It is a tough one.
Yeah.
All right.
He may not be back for a while.
That's what I mean.
Just realize that.
Maybe Asmund took 2 weeks off. You didn't even know it.
Yeah.
Or he took a week off to stay at home in his apartment.
Or maybe he's Tom Hanks and just walking around a terminal right now.
I could see Asmund lost in a terminal.
Yeah, I think it'd be awesome.
Well, no, he's a New Yorker, so you're raised in JFK or LaGuardia. So, unfortunately, we can't bash him on that. All right, take it away, sir.
All right, story number 1. It's real or is it fake? I dislocated my shoulder while spending the day on a lake last weekend.
One day on the lake?
One day on the lake.
Okay.
I dislocated my shoulder.
Now, how did you get it back?
Oh, I've Mel Gibson it for years.
Wait a second. You just slam it back in like Lethal Weapon?
Yeah, why not?
You expect me to believe that? If this story really is true, I don't even know if I can believe it. So you're out on, what are you, fishing? You cast off?
We rented a boat for the day, and the boat had a tube behind it, and just riding the waves on that tube.
Okay. Believable, but I still don't know how you got it back in.
Story number 2. 2 of my kids were stung by jellyfish.
Man, I hope that's not true. Look at you. Playing to the strings of sympathy by throwing your kids in the fake news segment. My
That's
goodness.
right.
Have you no shame?
I have no shame. I will go as low as humanly possible to
Clearly
bring you the
you
fake
will.
news.
Now, see, the difference is it could very well only be one of your children that got stung by the jellyfish.
I wouldn't do that
and
to
now
you.
Yeah, okay.
I have in the past, but I don't know if I did that to you.
Boy, I hope this story really isn't true because from what I've heard, that really hurts. And can't that not, like, that puts you out of commission for a couple of days. That might ruin your vacation.
It could.
All right, well, let me do a little detective work here. You stuck around an extra day up there. Chances are you would not be in that position if 2 of your 3 children had jellyfish stings on them. Okay, I need to hear the third one before I give a full answer on this.
Story number 3. We came home from vacation to find a small leak in our kitchen that's actually a bigger issue.
Well, what would be the bigger issue?
That we had to replace some piping.
Oh, my goodness. All from just going away and neglecting it.
Yeah. Not really knowing that was, anything was happening, and then came home to a hot and humid house. That was fun.
Well, these are tough. That last one feels like it could be real, but here's the thing. I'm going to say number 2 only because I hope it really isn't true. Like, that's it. I don't have any more. There's no Lenny Briscoe approach here. I can't go McNulty from The Wire and deduce something like that. No. I'm just going to tell you that I hope number 2 is fake only because of how bad it would be if it's real.
That's fair. That's very fair. So let's recap. Story number 1, I dislocated my shoulder while spending the day on the lake last weekend. That did happen.
I still can't believe you slapped it back in there like Mel Gibson.
I didn't slap it back in. I used to. I had a shoulder injury back in high school.
Got it.
That caused my shoulder to dislocate, and I would dislocate it probably on average about every other week. And I got to a point where I could just pop it back in. I have had surgery since then. I actually have 4 screws keeping it, supposedly keeping it together. So it's only happened a couple of times where my shoulder dislocated. And while I was on the lake, I hit a good wave. I was on the tube with my son and went over a good wake. And when I slammed down, my arm popped out. And by the time I hit the water, my arm had already popped back in.
Wow.
So I have tried the Mel Gibson thing before in the past. It doesn't work as well as he did in the movies. So, but yeah, so I've had my shoulder's been hurting all week long. It's been miserable.
Unbelievable. That's terrible.
Story number 2 was 2 of my kids who were stung by a jellyfish. You said that was false. Story number 3 was we came home from vacation to find a small leak in our kitchen. That's actually a bigger issue. That story is true. However, it wasn't my story.
No.
When I was swapping stories with Tim Murray today, because I was letting him know why I wasn't in, I was scheduled to come into work yesterday. He had told me a story about when he came home from vacation once. They had a small pinhole leak in his kitchen that exploded, and he ended up having to replace all the piping he's having to replace all the piping in his kitchen, as well as getting mold removal.
So you're penalizing me for missing Murray's show this morning.
You should have been listening.
Well, I had a golf lesson.
Which means story number 2 is true. Unfortunately, 2 of my kids were stung by jellyfish. Now, however, I don't think they were bad stings. One of them, I'm pretty certain, was having seen it. My middle son got stung by a dead jellyfish.
How is that possible? Is that like a dead bee?
I have no idea. I think
maybe
it's
you kill it and it stings you on its way out.
And his was worse than my other son. My other son, I don't know if he officially got stung by a jellyfish. It was, both of them rebounded pretty okay. My middle son, we had some ice on it for a while because he would not allow any of us to pee on him. Because that's how you get rid of a jellyfish sting. You know that, right?
Yes, I do know that.
You've gone quiet.
No, because I was thinking
you can't go and do that on your kids.
That's the Moises Alou theory, except you do it on the bite, not just your hands.
Right.
No, you can't do that. This is.
But yeah, they did. They both. It's just.
Can I suggest something?
Random facts.
Just
things going on.
Small outside observation.
Yes.
I don't necessarily think camping is good for the Culver family.
We weren't camping.
I thought you were camping. That's what Sean Mapes told me.
That was the original plan, but our motorhome ended up breaking. That we had rented. We had planned on renting a motorhome.
That would have been in the fake news story. I wouldn't have bought that.
That's true. I could have brought that in, but our motorhome, the generator blew, so we couldn't use the motorhome. We got it. Fortunately, we were able to get our money back, so we stayed around until the money was returned because banks take a while to process, and then we just rented a house at the beach.
You went from camping to just renting a house on the beach?
Why wouldn't you?
Why go camping in the first place? That was what I brought up yesterday. I couldn't believe you were going camping. Now it makes sense.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage. Making the right financial decisions.
I was like, camping? That's so random.
The whole original idea was we rented a motorhome because my son had a baseball tournament in Missouri.
So now is a great time to.
And so we were going to drive a motorhome up there because it's a 10-hour drive. That way all the kids were having fun. And we were going to stay at a campground that was right next to the baseball fields because my wife doesn't feel comfortable